Let me ask you because it seems like something is amiss. I remember, I was there the first time, August 2016, at the West Calumet complex, which was really the epicenter originally of the contamination. They had lead levels over 200 times the quote allowable limit in the soil. And the EPA then told me this is not a water issue. Obviously, 4 months later, they found water in residential homes. Why is it that they are just now doing what you said, the groundwater hydro? I don't know.
Hydrological study.
Yeah, it's almost 2 years after this came out. Why are they doing it? I think I know the answer, but I'd like your thoughts.
Well, they actually started it last year. So it took them a year after we started advocating for it. So they're in that process. Whether they are doing as thorough a job as needed, we don't know yet. We don't have the results entirely. But yes, I do know why. I can assume why these things have been delayed. We had the U.S. lead Superfund site delayed for decades. We have this cleanup delayed for decades. And from my point of view, we've been living in this neoliberal era where these industries have been able to hire a lot of lawyers. They've been able to mothball their properties, hire a lot of lawyers, change a lot of laws, get their legislators to do things for them. And now's the time where the legal framework and conditions are favorable to them. So now we're seeing these issues come out as they are able to mitigate against their liabilities through the legal system. They've already rewritten a lot of these laws. We, on the other hand, the community, are struggling to find attorneys to help us. We know from the ABA, the American Bar Association, they identify that there are over 30,000 environmental attorneys working full-time in the U.S. 28,000 of them work full-time for industry. Less than 2,000 work full-time for government agencies. That is at the federal, state, and local level. And then, of course, little nonprofits like us, only 600 work full-time for us. And, of course, nature doesn't have an attorney. I feel we have to flip this around. We need to protect these systems because these systems are what we live off of. The air we breathe, the water we drink, and the land we use. They need to be safe for us to interact with and to be exposed to. Right now in East Chicago, there are just so many exposures. It's very difficult. It's a struggle to be healthy in this community.
And my last question, obviously, I think you put it well. The smoke coming out of the factories, you could see those things, but not everybody, obviously they don't see it because the media is not covering it, but you can't see the 40-year-old woman who can't get out of bed in the morning because her immune system's been shot by this. I'm talking about someone we know. You can't see a lot of the illnesses. You have people. I mean, one woman I interviewed last year, literally, it took her 2.5 minutes to read off her list of issues. I don't mean that in a derogatory manner. You don't see all this. These people don't have lobbyists. They don't have lawyers, most of them. So what can the people watching, maybe in Indiana, nearby, what can they do? Are there still activist groups in the area? Are there still, obviously you need lawyers. What else do you need?
Well, we really need to, for instance, in Indiana, we don't have an environmental justice protections here. Indiana does not recognize the federal Title VI powers here in Indiana. So what we are looking to do is start to change state law to provide for environmental justice as an argument for protections here. There are lots of things that are missing in Indiana in terms of its legal framework. So that's something that we're looking to do and work. We've been very good at building coalitions, getting support. When we get on a campaign, we're able to get lots of people out. And we're able to advocate for ourselves. I'm going to try to since you came out here, we didn't just have the Superfund site. That was really important. But immediately after that, the Army Corps of Engineers was seeking to permit the largest PCB dump next to the school where our kids were relocated to. And we were able to stop that. We had one of the largest polluters in the Great Lakes region, Indiana Coke Company, who has been out of compliance for over a decade. we were able to stop them in getting a new permit and continuing to be out of compliance and get a major consent decree on them. We now are going after DuPont in this. I mean, these are billion-dollar companies. We just had another charter school called Steel City Academy, where a waste facility wanted to locate across the street. So we're fighting that. So we're in this last year and a half since we've met, we've been fighting on so many fronts. And the problem that we face is capacity, local capacity, and fatigue. Residents are getting burnt out. It's hard to keep up. It's just us residents fighting billion-dollar companies, one after another, and then trying to get laws changed. I think if there's any lesson here is that we need to all work together throughout the country and also the state to get these laws changed so that the protections are in place, that regulatory agencies like the EPA have teeth, that we can actually enable them to do more than what they're doing, able to provide us now.
Well, step number one is working to get money out of politics, which a lot of groups and candidates are doing. Thanks, Thomas. I have a feeling I'll be seeing you when my back is up to strength and I have a couple more dollars in my pocket. I'll be back to East Chicago. I think it's important. And thanks again.
Keep up the work. Thanks.